right, we welcome back to the show Senator John Thune, Senate Republican whip from the great state of Idaho. Senator Thune, welcome. So Biden gives this big speech with all of his Biden blarney, as I call it, and there's, existential climate risk and all the rest of it. But I think he was intimidated by the Supreme Court decision on the EPA because his speech today was kind of a nothing burger. I mean, I was getting ready for him to have a confrontation with massive new national defense production and emergency powers, and he kind of backed off this. I mean, I think the Supremes have intimidated him. What do you think?
Well, I think that the Supreme Court decision was a smackdown, Larry. That there is no question that
yes.
It was very clear what the court was saying, and that is that the federal government, they overreached. They interpreted the Clean Air Act in a way that Congress never intended, and it sent a message, I think, to all these regulatory agencies to reel it in. And I hope that message is received and implemented, because regulatory overreach is killing the economy. And oil and gas is probably the best place to look at that. He wanted to talk about a climate emergency. What we ought to be talking about is an energy emergency, because that's where the American people think the problem is. We don't have enough energy supplies in this country, and you got gas prices that are almost double what they were when the president took office. $2.38 a gallon when he took office. And you look at what people are paying today, and it's having a profound impact on the economy, and American people are feeling it in their pocketbooks. And a lot of the businesses that rely on people traveling, my state of South Dakota is a good example of that, are really feeling it this year. Very, very harmful.
Yeah, I mean, seems to me, I don't know that the Bidens have given up their radical climate activism. I doubt that they have. But I think they've been, hurt by the Supreme Court. But then again, Senator Thune, they've done enough damage. The economy for the first half of 22, right, ending in June, probably shrunk by about 1.5% with an 8.5% inflation rate. And I would say so much of that is attributable to the war against fossil fuels, and then, of course, overspending and over money printing. But I put the war on fossil fuels way up in the lead.
Yeah, no question. I mean, in my view, Larry, and I think that the overspending was killer, because that $2 trillion that they did early 21, flooded the zone with dollars, and the economy got overstimulated, way too much spending, didn't need it. But just as importantly, or more importantly, no energy policy. Shutting down, crushing oil and gas production in this country, and as a consequence of that, you got companies aren't investing. They took federal lands out of production. They refused to issue permits to drill. They quit. They shut down infrastructure. Keystone XL pipeline in my state, good example of that. And then they pressured all these companies through these ESG regulations not to invest in oil and gas production. And what they've done is they forced us to become dependent upon other countries when we've got all the oil and gas resources we need right here in America to do just fine. But it is a supply and demand issue. We didn't have enough supply. There's a huge demand out there. Prices went up. American people are paying the price for bad policies, and it's as simple as that. There's really no way around it.
Talk about that. Americans paying price for bad policies. You take a look. We got a Quinnipiac poll out today, I think. So of the great concerns of the American people, 33% inflation, 15% gas prices, 9% economy, 6% everyday bills and groceries, and Senator Thune, a whopping 1% climate change. I mean, American people are not buying this radical, semi-religious obsession with climate activism. They're not buying it.
They have figured this out, Larry, and like I said, in my home state, I was in my hometown for an all-school reunion last weekend. It's on Interstate 90. It relies on travelers, basically, to keep the economy going, particularly this time of the year. People going to the Mount Rushmore and the Black Hills and Yellowstone and points beyond, and they're down 35%, the main attraction in town, and they put it squarely on gas prices. So this is an incredibly stupid policy that the administration's put in place, particularly with regard to the regulatory environment they created. And as I said, all these other things they've done to reduce American energy production, and all in the name of getting everybody into electric vehicles. That's what their climate crazies want. But the American people, I get what's going on here, and that's why I think you're going to have a huge turnout in November, because they've had enough of this, and they're ready to turn the page and move on. And the midterm elections at least give us a chance to put a check and balance against this administration's radical extreme policies. We're going to need to get the White House back ultimately to bring about, serious change. But we can at least, I think, stop some of the damage if we can get the midterm elections behind us and have majorities in the House and Senate.
Well, the cavalry's coming. And Senator Thune, I don't want to embarrass you, but I just want to say, on the semiconductor procedural vote, you voted against it. May I say, good vote, sir. Good vote.
Well, I think we share that view, Larry.
Good vote.
Yes, sir.
Terrific stuff. Thank you, Mr. Thune. Appreciate it very much.
Good to be with you.
All right.